Anyone that was critical of the idea of rallying so hard on a stock split and that this would be a sort of buy the rumor, sell the fact type moment has also been proven wrong.
Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. It is never a quiet day when we're talking about Tesla stock. Seems like every second something's going on. First, Tesla stock splits on Monday. Next minute, the stock's up a ton pre-market. Then suddenly, Tesla announces a $5 billion stock offering. And well, like I said, never quiet when we're talking about Tesla stock. So let's look at some of the media coverage. I'm going to add a few comments where I think it's relevant. Let's dive in. But first, hey guys, if you're in the US and you'd like to help out the channel and get a free stock, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account and fund it with $100, you'll get a free stock valued up to $1,600. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Tesla shares are surging after the company's 5-for-1 split took effect yesterday. We all knew this was coming, but trading, as you might have anticipated, was a little heavier than normal during Monday's session. Tesla shares changed hands 115.6 million times. That is well above its 30-day volume average of about 73 million. Also, the stock rose by about 12.5% during yesterday's session. With today's move, the stock is actually sitting at a position of annual gains, yearly gains more than 530%, and the company's market cap crossing $464 billion, passing Visa to become the 7th largest U.S. company.
I have a funny feeling that over time, Tesla is going to continue to climb this list until it settles in the #1 position, and then #1 in the world. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is Tesla destined to be the largest US company and then eventually the largest company in the world?
And with that stock move, Elon Musk, by the way, he becomes the 3rd richest person in the world, at least on paper. Check that out. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, then Elon Musk, then Mark Zuckerberg.
Let's play a game called Spot the Common Denominator. These 4 guys, the world's richest people, all men, all complete and utter nerds, obsessive, relentless focus, total geeks, reminds you of something Bill Gates said years ago. Be nice to nerds, you'll probably end up working for one. Truer words have not been spoken. You know what else I find a common denominator? At least 3 of these guys, I have no question, are on the autism spectrum. Just a little fun fact. Maybe there's something in that.
Shares of Apple also getting a boost on stock split day. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the crazy thing is, in terms of year-to-date, obviously plus more than 400%, 80% now with this morning's 6.5% gain, or 79%, since they announced the stock split on just August the 11th. I mean, unbelievable. And the big difference between the last couple of trading days, yesterday and today, of course, is anyone that was critical of the idea of rallying so hard on a stock split and that this would be a sort of buy the rumor, sell the fact type moment has also been proven wrong. It rallied strongly yesterday, the day of the stock split taking hold, and also rallied, clearly it's going to rally today.
To be honest, I had absolutely no idea what to expect when the stock split actually took effect. My hunch was that we'd probably see the price go up. I mentioned this to my Patreons in some exclusive Q&As when they're asking what do I expect. But again, I didn't really know what was going to happen. So it's been really fascinating to watch this influx of people buying and the stock just shooting up. And clearly, the media cannot stop talking about Tesla stock at the moment. Not complaining. Obviously, this is going to impact wider sentiment with retail investors. I keep reminding you guys of this. What is being said on CNBC and all of these other mainstream finance networks does have a material impact on the sentiment of many retail investors out there.
The one other thing that I thought was quite amusing is if you use Google Finance, that stock chart didn't incorporate the stock split, and some people yesterday on Twitter, retail investors, getting very worried that they thought their Tesla share price had collapsed massively from well over 2,000 to down 500. And some people having some fun on Twitter about that. People worried that their recent investment had collapsed roughly to a fifth of the level that it had been, and not realizing that the stock split had taken hold. Instead, it was up 12% yesterday.
Yeah, well, they should be watching CNBC. I mean, and use the CNBC app, by the way, which is free to download and is a great app.
Awesome. Yeah.
That aside, I talked to a trader last night who deals with shorting Tesla. He said, whenever you have a stock split, I think Art Cashin said this yesterday on air as well, whenever you have a split, if you have a stock that is heavily shorted, you got all kinds of problems because people have either put it into a basket of derivatives or they have some sort of a special financing plan on their short. So when you announce a split, it can throw things a little bit, I guess the technical term is haywire. And so this guy was spending pretty much all day yesterday trying to redo deals on Tesla shorts. I'm not talking about, a guy trying to short 5 shares. I'm talking about huge companies, either shorting it or putting it in a basket of derivatives or a Delta One type product or whatever it might be. And so that might just be, if you are long Tesla, just know that pops some of that. I won't call it short covering because that's not what it is, but certainly the redoing of deals of people who are long or heavily done Tesla shorts. It's a very inexpensive stock to short, believe it or not, because nobody wants to get in front of a moving freight train.
Interesting tidbit there. I guess we can't call it a short squeeze, but maybe more of a short shuffle. I didn't realize that this would have a material impact when the stock split, but there you go. And as for the idea of jumping in front of a moving freight train, I kind of concur. Let's be honest. I feel at this stage, if you're shorting Tesla stock and it's not part of a hedge because you have a massive long position and just hedging, you're going to fail the IQ test. Yes, shorting Tesla stock right now, it's an IQ test, and everyone who takes this test is going to fail. Now, let's move on to Tesla's $5 billion stock offering just announced this morning.
Tesla shares on the move this morning, pairing gains after the company entered an equity distribution agreement to sell up to $5 billion of shares. Phil LeBeau joins us with more on that. Phil, not enough to put it into negative territory, though, this morning in the pre-market.
No, because I think when you look at this agreement, what Tesla has essentially done is it has formed an agreement with a series of banks, and I haven't counted how many exactly. I think there are 7 or 8, where from time to time at Tesla's direction, they will sell Tesla shares to raise up to potentially over time $5 billion. Now, we don't know exactly what the schedule is going to be, how frequently these Tesla stock sales will take place. The money is going to be used, according to the 8K that they announced this with, to shore up the balance sheet and provide liquidity for the company, which raises the question. How is Tesla's liquidity? It ended the second quarter with about $5 billion in liquidity. But remember, they've got some strong capital commitments that are coming. They're still building the Gigafactory outside of Berlin. They've made the commitment to build the Gigafactory outside of Austin, Texas. They're constantly investing in the Gigafactory, which is expanding and adding more battery production outside of Reno, Nevada. So I think when you look at this, Tesla investors will look at this and they'll say, look, we don't know exactly what they're going to be using this money for in the future, but we do realize that they're going to have these big capital commitments. And so now they have said with this series of banks, look, from time to time, we will ask you to take advantage of the market and sell our shares at our direction.
First of all, I think this is a great move. As they say, make hay while the sun shines. Tesla has a very strong market cap at the moment. Why not offer $5 billion of shares? However, the terms are really fascinating. Tesla isn't just selling $5 billion of stock immediately. No. They have extreme control. They can pull the lever and go, hey guys, sell some shares today, please. We'd like you to sell some shares today. This gives them an amazing amount of leverage and control because if the stock's up, great opportunity to sell a few shares. If the stock's not up, don't need to sell anything. These are really cool terms that heavily favor Tesla, and obviously up to $5 billion of additional cash coming into the company that they can deploy towards building more factories, buying equipment to bring costs down, etc. I love it. However, I think there may be a second piece to the puzzle here that CNBC has failed to mention, and that is the imminent S&P 500 inclusion, the announcement of which still has not taken place. I have a funny feeling that Tesla will actually use a large portion of these shares to sell to the index funds who will desperately need to be buying Tesla stock once the S&P 500 inclusion is announced.
And Phil, we were saying earlier, it's a sign of the progress of this company that they can raise $5 billion so easily. It's, a percent or so, just over a percent or so of the market cap. Today, the shares aren't even flinching. And, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, this would have been nigh on impossible.
Correct. And remember the reaction that we've seen over the last couple of years whenever Tesla has raised capital. It's been a little more muted with each capital raise. There was a big reaction, I remember, to a capital raise, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. And the big question is, oh, my goodness, what are they doing? Is this an indication that these guys will never be able to make money? They're just always going to be spending money. We have seen less and less of a reaction from the market with each subsequent capital raise or an indication that they will be selling shares.
For anyone who's wondering, $5 billion is a lot of money. How much exactly? It's enough to build 3 to 5 new Gigafactories. Gigafactory Shanghai costs around $1.3 billion US. Gigafactory Austin is around $1 billion for the first stage, so clearly Tesla can do a lot with this money. Funnily enough, the share market has overreacted to the news of the raise. Tesla stock was up 6-7% pre-market. It's now down over 3% during trading hours. That's about a 10% loss just on the news of the capital raise. This makes zero sense. It's an extremely positive, offensive, proactive move from Tesla. It puts them in a much stronger position to scale their production, reduce their costs further, and dominate even more faster. Of course, the market begs to differ, so what are you going to do? Well, I bought more stock. I think it's on sale. I think this is a massive overreaction. I'm going to keep buying Tesla stock when it's cheap and when it's not so cheap, because I think in 2030, the price I'm paying today, a few $100s per share, is going to look dirt cheap. In fact, not dirt cheap. It's going to look like a typo. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and stake using the links below. Deposit $100 in your WeBull account and you'll get a free stock valued up to $1,600, and stake, spin the roulette wheel, you'll either get Nike, GoPro or Dropbox.
Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.